Hi, welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. And this big little thing is a riot. This is the Mini Cooper Countryman. It's Mini's biggest offering, and Slates is the lineup's SUV offering. But it's also the spicy John Cooper Works one, which means it's quick. So is it performance Mini SUV an oxymoron? Thanks to International Mini for letting us have a go so we can find out. Is a Mini Countryman not a real Mini? Did it lose its soul? Is it too big? The answer is we have to face a reality. People on the internet are watching this either because they're Mini enthusiasts, potential Mini buyers, or they just love my face. It's probably mostly the Mini enthusiast ones, so you can't take YouTube comments as true representations of the buying public and of the market. The reality is, people have been asking for bigger, more luxurious cars for a couple decades now, so inherently the Mini brand had two options. Dig into tradition, refuse to adapt and die off, or give the people what they want, but with the Mini flair they crave. At the end of the day, if you like Minis and you want to keep buying Minis, then Mini needs to sell Minis. And this Countryman helps a lot with that. It also helps that this is the ritzed up JCW. This may be Mini's SUV, but the JCW badge means business. You've got a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder thumping out 301 horsepower and 331 pound-feet, going through an 8-speed automatic to all 4 wheels. So 0 to 60 is somewhere in the low 4 seconds, making it the quickest Mini I've ever driven. And this is where the internet will hear 300 horsepower and scoff a little bit, but this thing is properly quick, and it's really, really fun to whip around. It may be 300 horsepower, it may be an SUV, but it's a whole foot shorter than a CR-V, and the ride height is hardly more than a normal sedan. So that means it likes to be pushed, and it likes to rev, and it likes to play. And it's rewarding to push it. The JCW gets a special exhaust, and it is really rowdy. Behind the wheel, the Mini Countryman still manages to feel sharp and playful. Sure, it's the biggest Mini, but it's still smaller and lighter than most of the things out there. It's got a great rigid chassis, the engine has plenty of grunt, and the 8-speed transmission is sharp, and the dynamics encourage you to drive it like a teenager. And Mini is part of the same organization as BMW and Rolls-Royce, and it really benefits from that. The Countryman here gets things like adaptive suspension, all-4 all-wheel drive, and a brake-actuated limited slip differential, all things to help keep its playful persona. But this is an SUV, so let's settle it down and talk about the meat and potatoes. The Countryman, with its adaptive suspension, softens back to be really, really relaxing. The build is solid and the cabin is nice and isolated from road noise. The driving experience, when you just want it to be a car, can actually be much more civilized than you were probably anticipating. All in all, this Countryman is a lot more well-rounded than I think I was expecting. Plus, it has just that dash of habanero from the JCW bit. So let's step outside and talk some finer details. So let's address the elephant in the room here. Everyone on the internet seems to think that you need a car with 1,000,000 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 1.5 seconds to make it a fun car. And this is the living embodiment that that's just not true. 300 horsepower is plenty. You still have SUV practicality, and it's just fun. All of the stuff on the interior makes me want to drive it, makes me want to be inside of it. I can have fun even in stop-and-go traffic. And then when the traffic subsides and I can get my foot into the throttle, it's really rewarding then too. But then talking about the way that this thing looks. It's chili red and has black accents all over the place. You've got your roof color in carbon black. You have black A-pillars, B-pillars, C-pillars, D-pillars, roof rails, and a double pano roof. You've got black accents in your headlights. You've got black accents for your front and rear badge. You have black stripes down your hood. And of course you have the red and black accented John Cooper Works grille and aggressive front fascia. You've even got Mini in the headlights. Around the side, you have John Cooper Works in your front fender and an all-4 badge on your lower driver and passenger side door, reminding you that this is, in fact, all-wheel drive. You've got cool black wheels with red brake calipers peeking out from behind, and you've got a black wing mirror, black door handles, and around back it continues with a black mustache, black mini badge, black Countryman, and a black rear diffuser with dual chrome exhaust. And of course, you've got your John Cooper Works badge and your Union Jack LED taillights. All in all then, this is a spicy spec for a very spicy car, but the personality continues inside, so let's check that out. And then the thing that I love most about Minis is they don't take themselves nearly as seriously as their BMW and Rolls-Royce counterparts. There's a sense of levity and humor and just kind of childlike wonderment in these cars, and it's just fun. Most cars use rectangles to dominate the interior because screens are generally that shape, and they simply fit the interior better. Not this Mini though. There are circles everywhere. The most dominating one is in your center stack, and the center light does stuff based on what you're doing. It doesn't really have a practical purpose, but again, it's just fun. You adjust the volume, you have an animation to go along with it. You have backup proximity with green, yellow, and red. You've got climate animations, fan speed animations, and of course drive mode animations as well. Another fun thing is you get toggles overhead and below to operate things from your ambient lighting to turning on the car. Again, most cars would use toggle switches to feel hardcore and intense, but there's just a sense of silliness here that's just cool. But it's not all quirks and fun gimmicks. You also have the usual fare like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got the most sensible wireless charger I've ever seen because it uses spring tension to keep your phone in place so it actually charges. It's not quite perfect though. It doesn't have a 360 camera, the phone integration isn't wireless, and the circle theme is cool and fun, but it kind of results in the screens being smaller than they would otherwise be. And some of those are more nitpicks than actual issues, but in terms of the actual practicality of this mini SUV, it's shockingly big on the inside. The rear seats can actually fit someone over 6 feet. You have a nice dual Pano roof to bring in light and make it feel bigger. The build quality is excellent, and the trunk is absolutely big enough. So between the spunky characteristics behind the wheel, the fun details that you get on the exterior, and the completely unconventional take towards an interior, this Countryman is most certainly Mini, and I love that I get a chance to sit in here and play with it. So let's get into the final thoughts. The Mini Cooper Countryman John Cooper Works. I know we started this video talking about the Mini mentality and whether or not this is a Mini. And what it comes down to for me from this experience is that Mini doesn't have as much to do with the size as it does with the personality. There are very few, if any, cars on the road today that pack as much personality and character into the experience as the Mini lineup. I really enjoyed my time with this JCW Countryman, so thanks again to International Mini for letting me have a go.